That's it. I'm done. I swore off the AAA gaming industry because they suck, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not just saying they suck, I'm saying they suck bunghole. And not just any bunghole. Oh no. They suck the bunghole of the devil himself. So I am done. Done with incomplete video games that cost $70. I'm done with, microtransactions. Games where the customization options or whatever, after you've bought it, force you to keep pulling out your wallet and keep feeding their machine. No, don't do it. Don't give in to society's corporate machine. They did it. They ruined the art of video games and they turned it into a corporate bunghole. So if you're tired of the corporate bunghole, then join us here on the farm. Subscribe and come to the wilderness. So now I sit here in the wilderness with nothing but my tent, my laptop, and the one true emulator to remaster them all. And the first game I left society to play is, well, the one, the only, the infamous Underground 2, ladies and gentlemen. The racing is so exciting, it gets your blood pumping. The city looks cool and sleek. It's dark, it's always raining, there's neon everywhere. And now I'm gonna say it, split screen multiplayer. We here on Pepperidge Farms, we remember split screen multiplayer. And the best part, this game's from 2002, which means when you buy the game, you own the game. But how well does it emulate? This is an important question for this channel and in 2025 in general. With the rising cost of GPUs, it's not always feasible to buy a new graphics card because they finally decided to remaster that cult classic you loved back in the day. I find that my experience is I can just play the cult classic at 1080p on a 4GB graphics card with so many rendering options that I feel like a video game producer just because I switched around some options in the tabs and suddenly my whole video game looks amazing, which I will be doing a video on just how to refine some things inside your PS2 emulator so that it looks clean and beautiful and runs optimally and better depending on both how powerful your system is and obviously how you set the options in the performance settings. We here on the farms, we be working with some retro Amish type gear, so engaging my screen recording software did create a significant dip in my recording process when I was recording at 1080p, so I ended up switching to 720p. So yeah, like the video so that we can make some money and not have to record on jank-ass Amish computing gear. I will still be playing PS2 games though, because, well, modern games are garbage. How does it feel to play? That's a really important question. Gameplay is actually everything when it comes to a video game. So I would say that the actual feel of the game is a nice blend between realism and arcadey style old school Need for Speed Racer gameplay. So the result is really quite interesting. It leads to very intense chase scenes with essentially indestructible cars that hurt one another quite badly at very high speeds. It can be a frightening experience. It's really, really addictive, and the driving feels good and varied, and there's so much detail, even based on the performance of how you tune your vehicles. It just feels good, man. It feels real, and it never pushes reality so hard that fun gets pushed out the way. Let's talk about the races. So, yeah, they're your standard types of circuit races. You know, they made a left turn. And sprint races, where you go from one end of the city to the other in a complicated death race where you hope you don't crash into oncoming traffic. And then there are your more curveball races, like the drift or the drag races. Drift races are essentially little short style-offs where you're not judged by how fast you get to the finish line, but rather by how smoothly you can chain consistent drifts without hitting the walls. So that was quite interesting. And the other option, drag, is quite unique to Underground 2, where essentially you start the race in manual, which it can be jarring for a video gamer with a controller who's not used to games throwing manual into there. And then you have to shift between gears at just the right moment, or else you start losing momentum and other people get through faster and win the race. And then you consider yourself a failure. So this is great, okay, because it makes you genuinely angry because you know that you can actually drive now. But not in this video game. If you suck at this, if you suck at this, you may question your own driving of a manual in real life. Winning isn't everything. The ultimate goal is total annihilation. The reputation system of the game forces you to do this, ultimately. So, if you win a race, that is fantastic. You will make some money. But you will not be able to buy swag. If you want to buy swag, you will have to annihilate your enemies, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking 10-second gap at the end of the race. People are standing there. They're feeling bad for second place, let alone last place. That's where you gotta leave them, just to make the currency required to get some bling while you're listening to Chingy. This, compared to modern games, who do not ask you to increase your skill, to increase your swag. Oh no, they ask you to increase the gap in your budget. With microtransactions, I will complain about microtransactions until it dies. The open world of Underground 2. It's beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. Even in 2025. I mean, the city is obviously based on Los Angeles. It's got a nighttime vibe always. There's heavy neon in the streets that are shining off of the rain, and it's pretty. It stays pretty. Everywhere you drive, there are these big, complicated buildings with plenty of detail. So much more than I was expecting as a first-time player of Underground 2. Confession, I was born in '99, so, you know, I wasn't the legend that played Underground 2 when I was 3. But, nonetheless, even now in 2025, I can look back at this and I can compare it to how dead the worlds are in more modern video games like Most Wanted 2, for example. Oh, no. The next topic is a very serious one. Vehicle customization. Why? Why is vehicle customization an important topic? Because of Underground 2. Vehicle customization wasn't really a thing before Underground 2, and Underground 2 did it better than any game released in the last 10 years. And that's easily researchable because every game released in the last 10 years still gets the parts that it uses for its vehicle customization system. Their variety of options, they get them from Underground 2. And they don't get all of the options that Underground 2 had. Different games that come out have different sections of the options available to you in Underground 2, but Underground 2 has them all. It has vehicle tuning to the fine tuning of your parts, where you are literally given a track and a ghost record data of how fast your car goes. Then you fine tune all of your parts individually by yourself, given relatively a frightening view of what you're doing exactly. And once you're done, you can actually feel how your changes affected the vehicle, and you can record that data against the ghost, and you can actually see how much you've improved your vehicle just by tweaking and playing around with the whole tuner part, which is so underlooked in racing games in general. The body parts themselves are extremely extensive. There are more body parts than I've seen in any modern racing games. And granted, I'll give that's because all of the body parts in this game are immortal bricks of hard death that do not crumble and do not break. And yes, that is fancy and that is pretty, but we here on the farm, we value functionality and fun over pretty and over modern and over new. It's just they don't make them like they used to. Even I can tell, and I'm Gen Z. This wasn't my stuff I had growing up, you know. But going back and experiencing the real '90s kid vibe, the real '90s kid bulge, you know, what y'all guys really had, the millennial, should I say, era of gaming. It's really, these are some of the best games that ever were and ever will be. And Underground 2 is a perfect example of why that is. Speaking of customization, let's talk neon, right? So you can have neon everywhere. I'm not just saying underglow, I'm talking underglow, overglow, hood glow. You can have neon coming out of your ass while you're smoking your opponent. You can give them a light show while they're staring at your butt. Lastly, the soundtrack. Dude. This soundtrack hits so hard, it's literally my Spotify driving playlist now. I'm talking Snoop, Chingy, Rise Against, Queens of the Stone Age. We got hits every single time I launch this game, man. It sounds so good to play, and it feels just right, no matter where you are, man. Absolute 10 out of 10. This game is worth disowning society for. So, if you enjoyed the video and you've stayed until the end, please consider subscribing. And, well, we use likes out here as self-defense weapons. So, consider sending one my way. Thanks. Now get off of my property.